If you're looking for a HCM solution in 2023, you need to know which are the leading solutions. That's exactly what we have discussed in this video. Hello everyone, my name is Sam Gupta, principal at Elevate IQ. Elevate IQ is the independent ERP and digital transformation consulting firm. We help our clients with roadmap development, requirements management, change management, system selection, as well as system implementation. On that note, let's go back to today's topic, which is going to be the list of HCM software. When you think of the HCM software as well as the categories, sometimes people are going to be confused between your ERP systems as well as HCM system. HCM system in general is a very different category, and the reason why they need to be separate from your ERP processes is because of the confidentiality of the data set. ERP systems are not necessarily designed to host the HCM HR data that are going to have many different compliance issues based on the state, countries, regulations, and that's why the HCM software needs to be separate. So we compiled this list based on our feedback from the customers as well as our interviews. So let's look at the list now. Number 10 on our list is going to be UKG Ready product. And UKG is the company that focuses on the HCM solution, and this is their SMB product. Even though it is the SMB product, it is localized and globalized in 85 countries, including your US, Canada, and the UK. UKG Ready is great for the SMB companies, but that is not going to have those enterprise-centric features. That is going to be, for example, what if scenarios or succession planning that these enterprises require, and they are not going to have as robust approval flows that you are going to find in the other solutions, such as your Workday, Oracle, HCM, or the SAP Success Factors. So that's number 10. Now, number 9 on our list is going to be Zoho HCM. And Zoho HCM is targeted at companies such as IT, media, marketing. And the comparable for Zoho is going to be Bamboo HR. That is also as part of this list. This is a very small solution, and typically it is going to be most suitable for companies that might already be on Zoho for accounting or for CRM. The advantage with that is going to be that it is probably going to be pre-integrated with your other Zoho offerings, so you don't have to invest as much with the integration. The licensing fee is going to be fairly inexpensive as well, and that's why it's super friendly for the SMB companies. And in most cases, Zoho is a very simplified offering. It's not going to have the bells and whistles that other medium or the enterprise grade solutions are going to have. So you can implement this in the DIY mode, and if you cannot afford the consulting fee. So that's why it is going to be super friendly for the SMB companies. Now, some of the weaknesses of Zoho HCM is going to be it's not going to have the complex reporting or compliance needs, and you probably need to build those. So if you are looking for those, maybe look for some other solutions on this list. And it's also not going to have as complex workflow. Yes, Zoho comes with Zoho Creator, and you can probably program the complex workflows, but then that will require the consulting help, and it might become slightly more expensive. And these workflows might be slightly more pre-baked, configurable with the other products. So those are some of the weaknesses for Zoho HCM. That's number 9. Now, number 8 on our list is Infor WFM solution. Infor WFM solution is really targeted for very large companies. Typically, it's going to be more than 1,000 employees, and it's friendly for companies that are going to be employing a lot of hourly workers, union workers, and the functionality and the capabilities for these industries is going to be very different for some of the other industries, such as your services industries. Now, the other advantage with Infor WFM solution is going to be that it is going to be pre-integrated with systems such as Infor LN or M3. And some of these companies, especially the companies that are going to be in the Infor LN space, for example, automotive or the aerospace, they require the field service scheduling, your shop floor scheduling, and they typically need the employee data. Sometimes they need the learning module to be integrated with your shop floor data. For that, you need to maintain that the compliance is met from the certification perspective, and the people who are going to be working on a specific job have the necessary certification that your regulations are going to require. And that's where your ERP to your HCM integration is going to be super handy. And that's what you are going to get pre-baked with your Infor solution through Infor OS. So that is the strength for Infor WFM. Now, some of the weaknesses for Infor WFM is going to be, it's not really designed for the SMB companies. For SMB companies, it's probably going to be slightly overwhelming, as well as the companies that are going to be in the non-union industries. It might not be the best fit for them. The UI also may not be as friendly as some of the other solutions on this list that are going to be cloud native. So those are some of the weaknesses, and that's number 8. Number 7 on our list is going to be Ceridian Dayforce HCM. And this is a very similar solution as your Infor WFM, with the only exception being the Ceridian solution is targeted for SMB companies. The other difference between Ceridian and Infor WFM is going to be Ceridian has far superior UI for the SMB companies, and it's an easy offering that they can easily learn and adopt. And it's probably not going to have as much consulting fee involved in implementing Ceridian Dayforce. The weaknesses for the Ceridian is going to be that you are probably not going to have those enterprise centric features such as your succession planning, what if scenarios, and the complex benefits management or the workflow management that you are going to get with the solutions such as Infor WFM or some of the other solutions such as Workday or Oracle HCM. So that's number 7. Now, number 6 on our list is going to be ADP Vintage HCM. And this is the solution that is targeted for large companies over 1,000 employees. The strengths for this solution is going to be, it's really great for companies that are already going to be on ADP. And this solution has slightly more enterprise-centric features. That is going to be the separation of duties that you are going to require when you have multiple layers of management in your organization. And that's where it is going to be a fit. The disadvantage or the weaknesses of the solution is going to be that it's really complex for smaller companies. And since ADP acquired a lot of these solutions, so the communication, the real-time communication between these solutions may not be as seamless. And sometimes you might have issues between your benefits as well as payroll module. So those are some of the weaknesses, and that's number 6. Number 5 on our list is going to be Bamboo HR. And Bamboo HR is going to be a similar solution as your Zoho HR. It's really targeted for very small startups. The functionality that you're going to have, typically you are going to be using this more in the siloed fashion when you cannot really afford to have that integration with your HCM processes. The reporting is going to be fairly lean as well, but most of these startups are probably not going to require as complex reporting. The other strengths that Bamboo HR is going to have, the implementation cost is going to be far lower. Typically, Bamboo might be able to implement this in $3,000 to $5,000, and this is going to have similar price point as your Zoho. The weaknesses for Bamboo HR is going to be the limited reporting capabilities that you are going to have, as well as it might require a lot of add-ons. The similar problem that we see with the other SMB solutions, even in the ERP space, for example, Acumatic and NetSuite, they are going to require a lot of add-ons. So you are going to have all the problems that you face with those solutions in the HCM space with Bamboo HR. So Bamboo HR is still a very strong solution, and that's why it is number 5 on our list. Now, number 4 is going to be UKG Pro, and this is the enterprise solution from UKG. Ready is the SMB solution, Pro is the enterprise solution, and this is targeted for the slightly larger companies. And this is going to be localized and globalized in more countries. So Ready is localized only in 85 countries. This one has support for roughly 100 countries. And sometimes even the larger solutions may not have that support, and you might need to utilize a lot of partner centric solutions for those countries. But UKG provides that out of the box. The UKG Pro is also going to have the enterprise centric workflows for the separation of duties that enterprises are going to require and for the workforce management. The other strength for UKG Pro is going to be it is integrated with the UKG Dimension product, and that is really the advanced workforce management when you talk about those what if scenarios. So it has the enterprise grade capabilities for that. It is also a full suite, just like your Workday, SAP, SuccessFactors, as well as Oracle HCM. Inside your HCM bucket as well, you have many different offerings, and it gets bigger when your organization is going to be enterprise grade. So the weaknesses for UKG Pro is going to be the partners and ecosystem. The ecosystem is not going to be as strong as some of the other products on this list. For example, Oracle HCM or Workday, they are probably going to have superior ecosystem. So that's number 4. Now, number 3 on our list is going to be Oracle Cloud HCM. And Oracle Cloud HCM is one of the most robust and complex product designed for the enterprise grade needs. Oracle Cloud HCM is targeted for slightly more service-centric industries where you are going to have a lot of white-collar workers. This is going to be your telco, media, public sector. It's going to be any of the companies that are going to be in the insurance or the financial services space. And this is probably one of the oldest solution that was enterprise grade, and that has been there in the market for a while. It has had a lot of different installation. So the strength for the Oracle Cloud HCM, it's going to be really good fit for the companies that are going to be on the Oracle solutions such as Oracle ERP Cloud, because it's probably going to be pre-integrated. The weaknesses for Oracle Cloud HCM is going to be really the legacy interface. It's even though Oracle has done a wonderful job in migrating some of those screens, but it still has the same legacy feeling because it's not cloud native and not re-architected from scratch. It's not really good for the smaller companies. It's not going to be suitable in the blue collar industries because they are going to have very different union centric functionality that they are going to require, and that may command a lot of custom development on top of your existing solution. So Oracle Cloud HCM is probably not a fit there. That's number 3. Now, number 2 on our list is going to be SuccessFactors. And SuccessFactors, some of the strengths for SuccessFactor is going to be it supports roughly 45 languages and 45 localizations, but then it's going to have very robust partner ecosystem where you can find support in the other countries as well. This is probably going to be the best fit for companies that are already going to be on SAP solutions. So it's going to be pre-integrated, and it's going to have the similar purpose as you are going to get with your InfoWFM, where let's say if you're using SAP in the automotive or aerospace industries where scheduling is going to be a challenge, then your SuccessFactors can utilize your learning and compliance from your HCM module and flow that back to your ERP That's where the real strength is going to be. The other strength for success factors is also going to be some of the other best of breed software that SAP has in its portfolio. For example, Qualtrics for employee experience, and that is going to be the strength for success factors. Some of the weaknesses for success factors is going to be that it's not really designed for SMB. SMB companies might find it overwhelming because of the kind of workflows that it is going to have, the kind of the benefits management, the complexity of managing that may not be as friendly for SMB companies. The UI may come across as slightly more legacy. That might be easier. Let's say if you are going with Bamboo HR or Zoho, those might be slightly more friendly for the smaller companies. So that's number two. Now, number one on our list is going to be Workday. And Workday is the product that a lot of Fortune 500 companies use, and it's really designed for the enterprise workloads as well as the enterprise processes that are looking for best of breed HCM solution. Typically, it is going to be fit for companies in the white collar space. This is going to be your tech, media, telecom, insurance, financial services, similar market as your Oracle Cloud HCM. And Workday is going to have very complex enterprise grade workflows, separation of responsibilities. All of that is going to be combined as part of your Workday. It's going to have very deep capabilities for your learning management, for your benefits management as well. But some of the weaknesses for Workday could be it may be too complex for a smaller organization. The financials from Workday is not as robust. It might be okay for service-centric organizations that might not be as strong with the financial processes for some of the tech companies. But overall, let's say if you are going to be in the retail space, then Workday financials may not be the best fit. But SCM is a great product from Workday. So that's number one. If you enjoyed this video, we are going to add the link for the blog that is going to have detailed analysis of each of these solutions. Also, if you prefer audio version, this podcast is also available on Apple, Spotify, Google. So don't forget to check and subscribe there. Also, if you are more of the YouTube person, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you don't miss on the future videos. If you have not checked our digital transformation report for 2023, it covers a lot of these things in detail. So make sure you download that today. On that note, thanks for tuning in. I'll see you in the next one.